How's it going, everybody? This is Dr. Job with HealthFit and with Dr. Kevin, and we're going to be going over proper seated ergonomics. And so you've probably seen this all over the place online and at your HR, and it's probably got a bunch of different angles that you got to follow and where things should be placed, but we're going to kind of go and reverse engineer that seated position. So the first thing we got to get down is our seated position. Then we're going to build our ergonomic space around that. So Kevin's going to go ahead and take a seat into the chair. When he sits into this chair, he's going to really make sure that he sits down onto what we call his sit bones. And so that's the part of your hip bone that's actually meant to take the stress of sitting. For a lot of us, when we go to sit down, our pelvis gets kind of tucked under us, or it gets kind of pushed back to the point where we're not able to actually make contact with those parts of the hips. So we're going to go ahead and have a seat and wedge our hips into the back of the seat. And when we wedge our hips that way, we're able to allow the spine to sit up in a more neutral position. Now we'll be able to keep that position for maybe 15-20 minutes. And even with the strongest of systems, because the human body is not designed to sit down for long periods of time, we're going to start curling the hips under us. And as the hips curl under us, then we start flexing that lumbar spine, putting more pressure into the joints and the disc instead of putting the pressure right back into the sit bones. So we're going to get back into our sit bones, wedge our hips back, and now we're going to make sure we set our desk properly. To do that, to start off, we're going to pull ourselves forward, make sure our midsection or our tummy is going to be basically touching the edge of the desk. We want the desk to be high enough and at a perfect height for our forearms, not our wrists. When we have our forearms placed on the desk, we have these big meaty portions of our forearms that can actually take the stress of that compression. When we try and pull our arms back and our wrists are sitting on the desk, that's when we start to put a lot of compression directly into the joints and directly into soft tissues that are not made to handle that pressure. So we want to make sure that when we go to type, and because my desk is set to me and not Dr. Kevin, that keyboard is not in a perfect position for him. So he's going to go ahead and move it into that perfect position, allow his forearms to take the stress, and now his wrist is in a nice neutral position. He's not cranking back on it. The screen, as you can see, is not 20 degrees below. Oh my God, what's going to happen now? You don't use your head to look, you use your eyes to look. His head is still in a good neutral position and he's looking down with his eyes. He's not allowing his chin to drop, and he's not allowing his chest to drop and then his head to flare up to try and compensate for that position, like most of us do. This is what I call your head in no man's land. There's nothing to help support your head except for the muscles on the front side of your shoulders and your chest. We want to bring the head right back over the shoulders, allow the body to actually hold the weight up the way it's designed to. This is the ideal position for when you're seated. But, like we said, the human body is not designed to sit down for a long period of time. So especially if you're at your desk for 8 hours or 6 hours at a time, the idea is to be able to flow between sitting and standing. Check us out for our next video where we go over that standing position. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to get in contact with us. Reach us at healthfitinc.com or give us a call and we'd be happy to help you.